Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. It is March the 12th. Beware the Ides of March. We're almost there. If you get that reference, then we can be friends. Good morning to you. It is 8 o'clock. This is Coffee Talk. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris, tracking a beautiful, beautiful day. Before we get too far, ziggy, zaggy, oi, oi, oi. All right. Okay, now we are good. Spring break right around the corner, and oh, do we have some changes, my friends? Look at this weekend. Saturday, 87 degrees, the high temperature. Record is 91. Oh, we'll be in the ballpark. And then Sunday, 87 degrees as well. But that said, we'll be watching a storm system gearing up and moving in. This weekend's going to be a really rough one for parts of the country. We'll get into the specificity of that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But then watch how this cold front early Monday to midday Monday starts to sneak in, and as it does so, brings showers and storms. At this point in time, we don't have any kind of clarity on a severe weather threat. At the moment, most dynamics look to be north of us. We'll have to follow the trends. And certainly, that's exactly what we'll be doing. All right, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. First, let's get you ready for your morning. How pretty is that? Ocala, top left corner, the sun coming on up on our Tower Cam network. It's 43 degrees. Top right, downtown Orlando. You can kind of see Lake Eola there on the center of your screen. Bottom left is Tavares. It's 52. And the Kennedy Space Center, where Falcon 9 is high atop Launch Complex 39A, ready for tonight's launch of Crew 10. That's going to be an exciting one, right? Here's the forecast for Crew 10 as of right now, looking at a 95% chance of good weather at the pad. But of course, there's an ascent corridor that we need to watch for, and that's some concern there. The ascent corridor, of course, is in the event of an anomaly, where's the crew going to use the launch escape system and parachute down to the ocean below? That's the ascent corridor that's mentioned there. There is some concern, rough surf, among other things. So keep that in mind. But at the pad, things are looking absolutely, absolutely fantastic. So it's a gorgeous morning. First warning, live Doppler radar, scanning the skies. Got nothing to worry about temperature wise. It's a little chilly north of town, right? That 42 in Ocala is not the only reading that cold. 43 in Palm Coast. It's 51 in Orlando. And even in the upper 40s for Brevard County over to Osceola County. Gorgeous morning. How about the afternoon? We climbed to 68 by 11 a.m., 77 degrees our 1 o'clock temperature, and 80 degrees by 3 p.m. today. So we're looking really good. We're looking really good today. I think it's going to be a beautiful day. Whatever our plans are, let's make the most of it. High temperatures today, 80 for so many of our locations. Of course, along the shoreline, though, clearly that oceanic influence hits us, right? With the mid to upper 70s kind of scattered about. If you're out in the sun today, if you're already on spring break, we're already to that time of year where we cross from the high to very high UV index. You got 15 to 20 minutes to burn. Take you just a little bit of time out there, right? So yeah, I mean it's looking beautiful. We've got a really nice stretch of weather. The next couple of days we do start to tick those boxes little by little by little. Warming 80 today, 81 tomorrow, but again, this weekend is where we pop that heat. So let's take a look. Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. If I can find the button to click. Loading, loading. There we go. All right. 80 degrees for today, 81 tomorrow. You've got the upper 80s this weekend. We're doing a pool party for my son's birthday, so that'll be fun. We kicked on the solar or the heater, so the pool should be warm by then. And then yeah, Monday is going to be that next opportunity for rain. 60% coverage for now of showers and storms. Not going to be the prettiest St. Patrick's Day for us. Yeah. Matt says, in referring to the rocket launch tonight, Matt says, I encourage, and Matt's a photographer. Matt says, I encourage everyone to watch Falcon 9 tonight. When the first and second stage separate, it will be twilight in the upper atmosphere. High chance of getting the jellyfish or nebula effect. You can see it all the way from Tampa or Jacksonville. Agreed. 7:48 tonight. It's going to be a stunning rocket launch. Frank says Sunday is my 23rd wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. That's wild. Seriously, I'm not going to say I remember it like it was yesterday, but it doesn't feel like it was 23 years ago. All what's even funnier is all the Burris boys got married in the month of March. That's what's even funnier. So funny. Yeah. Frank being the first because he's old as dirt, then Jason, and then I got my crap together, and then I got you. Yeah. So anyway, think it'll be clear overnight Thursday into Friday to watch the lunar eclipse. Funny you should ask. Shall we chat about that? I mean, I'm not waking up that early, but if you are, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, there's a lunar eclipse. So in that 2 to 3 a.m. time frame. Now, let's talk a little bit about what a lunar eclipse is. It begins at 1:09 in the morning, maxes out just about 3 a.m. So if you're wanting to wake up that early, good for you. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, things are looking absolutely perfect. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty that is. I'm sure local Facebook groups will be flooded with pictures and questions of what is this, where that. Yeah, exactly, Oliver, exactly. Janice is asking if I'm the youngest son. No, I was just the last one to get married. No, I'm the middle boy. Frank says, Mister, I have a graphic for that. Yes. Oh, I thought you'd never ask. We also have a full moon, in case anyone's curious. I have a graphic for that as well. This one's called the worm moon. Whatever that is. There you go. It's pretty. So anyway, we've got some really great weather coming. Now, notice on the 7 day forecast, we'll go back to it. Notice on the 7 day forecast, we've got a big warm up this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about that, okay? So, Saturday, Sunday, some of the models are saying we could even get to 90 degrees. Some of the models are keeping us a little low. So, Kellyanne's forecast package is definitely on the lower end of guidance. It's going to, I think, come down to how much cloud cover do we have, right? So we definitely have to watch that. But I would add that 87 this weekend, okay? Warmest temperatures in a month. We hit 88 on February the 13th, okay? Now, here's what's even more interesting. When we talk about 90 degrees, and this is one of those things that, it's the elusive 90-degree day. When do we get our first 90-degree day? Okay. I've mentioned to you many times, April is when we typically get that first 90-degree day. But what day? Let's take a look, right? Yeah, it's usually about the 8th of April that we average our first 90-degree day. Last year, though, we did it on March the 9th. So we're already behind where we were last year for 90-degree days. Okay, so do we get there this weekend? It's a possibility, right? I mean, it's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. It's a possibility. So definitely one of those things that we'll have to watch for. All right. So we know for a fact. Let's take this back to the 7 day forecast, and then I want to get into some specifics here. So we know for a fact, right, that we've got some building heat, but then we've got that next storm system, right? And we're a little sensitive to it because of the recent events, of course. um Let me just pull this up. I posted this on Twitter. Copy link. Do that. So I posted this on Twitter, but I'll share it again. This is our WESH radar imagery, and I didn't share this yesterday, but we're still very sensitive, of course. Let me just resize this. So this is our live radar data. And I'm just pulling it right off of my Twitter feed, right? But like this is our live radar data from the EF2 that touched down the other day. Okay. Before it parsed out, like right after coffee talk yesterday, I went and grabbed it. But anyway, so we're still very, very sensitive because of what obviously happened on Monday. So I want to treat this very carefully. Okay. I want to make sure you understand, like, this is, but then I have to remember, like, know your audience. Like, y'all know I'm not a hyper. So I'm not going to sit here and hype anything. But I definitely want to take a moment and look ahead at the storm threat on Monday. Okay. Let's kind of get an idea of the atmospherics for it. Okay. So that's the first thing. Okay. So we know for a fact that there's going to be a storm system well north of us. But for 5 a.m., that storm system north of us should engage the most strength well north of us, right? But that said, um, the question is going to be once that storm system gets here, how much energy do we have? Okay. So at this point in time, just honestly, it's too early to know the severity of this next event. Okay. It's important to know that. But what we can do is we can start to look at some of the dynamics here together. All right. So let's look at wind shear. This is one of the products that we can use. All right. So this is wind shear, and we're gonna skip this forward through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Sunday into Monday, you can kind of see there's a little envelope of energy, not a ton, but there's a little envelope of energy that's going to be coming through. Okay. In the morning, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 o'clock. So the European model is definitely trying to show a little bit of wind shear in the vicinity. Okay. Let's look at the American GFS model. Saturday, Sunday. All right. So into Monday, notice that the GFS model is going to keep most of the shear in our southern areas off to the south. Okay. What about vorticity? Vorticity is spin in the atmosphere. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So obviously, we've got you can see there's some vorticity elements there. That big red blob, that's just kind of a spin on the backside of a front. So what we're watching for is out ahead, right in here, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, right in here. So there's definitely the model's definitely showing pockets of vorticity, pockets of spin there. Okay, and then of course there's Cape. We're starting to, it's so early, right? But it's never too early to at least start eyeballing. There's Sunday into Monday. The Cape is going to be with us, kind of leaving. There's going to be some room. So I think that the bottom line is there's going to be some room. Helicity. These are all products that we're going to be watching. Monday. Yeah, so depending on the Euro versus the GFS, supercell composite. At the moment, it's almost looking like it would be our southern areas, but again, this is so far out. You need to understand that the idea is we know that we've got a storm system coming in, and actually, I need to update the location of this front and stuff because it seemingly has sped up just a little bit. Bear with me. We draw our own graphics. Did you know that? Can you believe that? Hold on a second. Let me fix this. This is the stuff we do behind the scenes that you just don't know. Do that. And I hate small fronts. 0.75, 0.75. Okay, there's that. And then up here it needs to be, yep. All right, perfect. Save. Okay. Give it a second to update. All right. So at this point, again, we know that we've got a cold front coming through, right? The question is just going to be at what point does it impact us? The strength of it, the severity of it, all that fun stuff. All right. So we're definitely going to be watching. As it gets closer and closer, we can start looking at the SKU-T data, all of that fun stuff, right? We can look at all of the severe parameters together. We'll be doing that together. Um, but for now, it looks like, for Sunday into Monday, the severe threat looks to be north of our area. If there's any kind of resurgence of energy, it would probably be our southern, Orlando off to the south. That's the way it looks right now. Again, it's a little too early to dial into it. So we'll get there and we'll keep you updated, okay? All right. That's my spiel. Now, questions, comments, concerns. We'll leave the 7 day up. We'll just kind of talk about the questions you may have. Diane says, I grew up in the South and had my fair share of tornadoes. I pay close attention to springtime storms. Well, a good example, marginal atmosphere, and that's what happened. It was a marginal atmosphere on Monday. And that's what happened. And you know what frustrates me is I had my appointment. Otherwise, I could have made this radar data look even better. I left it on a decent setting. It wasn't a perfect setting. So I could have made that better. So anyway, but our radar was in an incredible position to survey. We were looking at the winds here at about 360 feet. So yeah, I mean you can see that spin there, which is incredible, just incredible. Yeah. Going into listening mode, Marie. All right, sounds good. Very good. Sharon says so many cold fronts this winter. We've definitely had our fair share of storm systems. This, though, was the first one that really gave us severe weather. So 41 days after this one, let's watch for another threat for severe weather. Somebody write that in their baby book. See you, Mr. Frank. Be good. Frank Y. Jeannie Rowan says, dang appointments. I know. And that's the one thing that I'm super like, I just wish that I should have canceled that appointment. It's hard to get that appointment. Ugh. Perfection is the enemy of good. Your radar was good and it saved people's lives. Well, thanks, Matt. I just want it perfect. I just want it perfect. Janice says, look for the hook on the right. Well, I was showing, I mean, I was just showing velocity here. If you want the hook, I mean, I can give you the hook. There's the hook. It was also there. The reflectivity is easier to perfect than the velocity. I could have made the velocity better. The reflectivity is, I mean, that's pretty incredible reflectivity. But we also were in our radar was in an ideal spot for this to be tracked. That's so funny. I've never heard that before, though, Matt. Perfection is the enemy of good. I've never heard that before. That's a super good way to put things. Huh. I'm going to chew on that for a minute. Tabitha says the Rockledge High School band from Brevard County is traveling to Savannah this weekend to march in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Fingers crossed the weather isn't too bad. Jeremy has told me how absolutely massive their spring or their St. Patrick's celebrations are up there in Savannah. So, yeah, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. Yeah. Matt says that hook is straight out of Oklahoma. Man, I mean, it is. It is. Yeah. Which you don't want to see. Stacy and Gary say, hate the rain. I know. I know. Sorry. Look, I'll be here. We'll be doing coffee talk together, you know? And I haven't told the wife, because I'm off. I'm off all next week. I haven't told the wife yet. But in all honesty, whether or not she knows this, I feel like she has to know this at this point. Um, if there's severe weather, I'm gonna go to work. I feel like she knows that. John David says, "You're still my favorite meteorologist, but the guy on the air at your rival station, that was amazing. He held it together as a twister was hitting his building." Hey, first off, as I said yesterday, John, first, thank you, John David. Second, he's a good dude. I was texting him yesterday morning or Monday morning before the tornado hit. So no, I appreciate that I'm your favorite, and I will always work hard to earn that. But also, we are a community of weather nerds. That's the genuine truth. He was in a tough spot, and he did great. So yeah, I'm only happy when it rains. I feel like that's a song lyric, Frank. I'm only happy when it rains. Sonia says so. Around April 19th through the 22nd would be 41-ish days. So April 19th through the 22nd. Let's put it right now. Sonia said that that's when. So what is at 41 days? So 12, 11, so 10. So March 10th, 41 days after March 10th. So that's April 20. So 420, of course. So let's do this. I'm putting in my calendar on 420. Recycle of tornado pattern. All right, I'm putting that in my phone all day. Oh, it's Easter Sunday. Of course it's Easter Sunday. All right, so in my calendar, of course it's not going to focus. Recycle of the tornado part of the pattern. So around Easter Sunday, one would imagine, yeah, I know, Campeche, exactly, Matt. Yeah, Stephanie. So one would imagine that around Easter Sunday, there may be that sort of a threat. So, yeah. Emphasis on the A, Lori. That's funny. Yeah. Janice says this weekend looks like a good time to go to the beach. We'll have the beach forecast. Yeah. Yeah. No, Mario, I'm aware. Yeah. Yeah. I'm aware. Tammy says, so bad weather, Easter and 420 on the same day. It's going to be a mess. I know. Well, we'll see. Look, we'll see how this all recycles around. But I would suspect that around Easter, we will need to be minding our P's and Q's for more than just religious purposes. I mean, yeah, it's an egg roll, not an egg fly. Let's hope. How bad is the weather going to be in Orlando this Monday? Francis, I could see somebody showed up late to class. For right now, we know that there's showers and thunder showers. I spent a pretty good amount of time at the beginning of the broadcast talking about it, but essentially, it's just too early. Um, I don't know just yet. Heather needs coffee says, I don't know the weather pattern work like that. It's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. I use a teleconnection referred to as the LRC. That essentially, the long and short of it is what comes around goes around. And every year there's a different pattern duration. You can kind of track these long form patterns, which I have a call with Gary today just to chat. Haven't caught up with him in a while. So yesterday we were supposed to chat, but I kept getting kind of pulled around in different directions at work. You know, talking tornadoes and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah. So long story long though, Heather. Yeah, that's the way that it works. Stephanie says Friday looks amazing. I'm getting married. Yay for sunshine. Yay for sunshine. Look, I got married in March. My two brothers got married in March. March is nice weather usually, so good for you. Love it. Many, many, many years of happiness and um, prosperousness. Is that a word? Can I make it a word? Can we make it a word? Anne Marie says, you started me being obsessed with everything weather. Thank you. If I would have done it over, I would have taken meteorology in college. Listen, you can still go learn. There's all kinds of stuff that you can still. You don't have to do it for college. You don't have to. Well, I guess you're already doing that, right? Like we're here talking weather, but like, um, we can always learn. I will never. The day I die should be the day that I stop learning. I want to learn every moment of every day. I want to learn. I want to be the dumbest guy in a room. I want to learn from you. I want to learn from anyone. There's too much to know, and I'll never know it all. I want to. Anne Marie, learn. Don't stop learning. Matt says, then May 31st, the day before hurricane season. Will this end up with a name in 20? I don't think it's a major part of the pattern, so I hope not. The low is far enough north, so yeah, the low is far enough north. The next decent part of the pattern for at least tropical purposes. What is today, the 12th? March 12th. So the Raphael part of the pattern. So let's look at this real fast. It's it's so weird that like these graphics are out now. It's like you go so long working on this where you don't release the data that now I'm like, oh, I can just go reference it. So November. All right. So the next part of the pattern to watch is going to be it's the Raphael part of the pattern. Okay. I called it the slow Gulf low. All right. So this next part will be these dates, but should be around March 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. So let's look 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Look for a Gulf low. Doesn't look like much. Doesn't look like much going on there. I mean, maybe that's too early. We did think that there's the potential that our dates are a little early. Jeremy and I were talking, so I mean, that could be it there. Let's look at the euro. Oh, God, I hate when I do that. Oh, shit. Pressure. Oh, all right. Yeah, I think our dates may be too early. We may have to do something with that. Euro AI, because I think that the that part of the pattern would be the Raphael part of the pattern, but we'll have to wait and see. Look, the Euro AI is wanting to fire up a little cat. You see that? Do 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 do. What are you doing in the Caribbean? Nothing crazy, but it's just wanting to throw a little CAG up. Not tropical, but something. So anyway, there's that. Always something to track. And we do. That's the fun of weather. You always, it's ever changing. I don't know that I could work a desk job where things are not always constantly changing. I like the challenge of weather. Ah, let's see here. Ba, ba, ba. Only idiots know it all. This is from a Bon Jovi song. Yeah. Just like the good die young. Why does it seem like storms split apart when they reach the Melbourne area? Got that bubble. I don't know. I don't know. Bum, ba-dum, ba-da. You know, I was listening this morning. I was listening to my youngest is interested in John Williams music, and so I'm gonna embrace that. So we were listening to the Return of the Jedi soundtrack, which George Lucas, when he re-released things, he messed up the last scene of Return of the Jedi and put on some other garbage music instead of the John Williams Ewok thing. So anyway, I've got the I've got that stuck in my head. Not that you care. This is definitely my ADHD kicking in. Squirrel. All right. Anyway, questions, comments. You don't care about that. Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all. Anything. Katie says you should work my desk job. It's always changing. See, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Ah, questions. Why? Why did I have to say that? Questions, comments, concerns, anything, anything, anything at all. We've got a really nice stretch of weather. Matt, yes, George did mess up the end. Right? Like, come on. Oh no, Matt, exactly. Like why? Just leave well enough alone. That's all. Joseph, this year are you going to visit Jeremy, or is Jeremy going to come visit you to do Tracking the Tropics this season? Well, we always run Tracking the Tropics out of my computer because I'm the tech nerd. Though with Skype going away, I got to figure something out because Skype is how I bring him in. So I got to figure something out. So anyway, but I do fully suspect that I'm going to go visit Jeremy at some point this year. Got the airplane. Like, why wouldn't I go try to fly up to Savannah just to hang out with Jeremy for a couple hours? I feel like I have to do that at some point. You know? Have to. Debbie, is Skype really going? Yeah, Skype's really going away. So, not that you care, but like when you see the bottom left corner, that little Skype logo, like I bring the graphics in from Wesh higher resolution via Skype. If I just did like a screen cut, let me show you. If I just did like a window capture, it would be a little grodier. It would be kind of, yeah, it wouldn't look as good. So anyway, that's how I do it. Um, so that's also how I bring Jeremy in. Don't use Teams, just take the Mooney every week if I could. Teams doesn't allow me to use NDI, which is what I use. I tried Teams. Teams does not allow me to do NDI, at least the Hearst version of Teams. So I've got to figure this out. I've got to figure something out. And fairly quickly, you know? John David says, my desk job is telling police and fire where to go. Some days it feels like it's talking to toddlers. Yeah, there's that. Joseph, did you finally get your Mooney, or is it still a 172 Skyhawk? No, got a Mooney. She's getting some new avionics right now. Yeah, got the Mooney. Janice Curry's asking, wait, what is NDI? So NDI, this is the long rabbit hole. NDI is how I pull video in to do coffee talk. Technical stuff. Well, how are you going to do it now? I don't know. I got to figure that out. Seriously, I got to figure that out. I'll figure it out. One way, shape, or form. I may have to get my engineers at Wesh to also help me. Neon says, I found Teams plugins for NDI. If it's a company laptop, they might need to set it up if it's locked down. Neon's channel on YouTube says. So, I feel like it's a corporate policy that does not allow NDI tools because I've done the research on it and it just it's just not on Teams. So I need to get a corporate policy to allow it, perhaps. Matt, I have no idea what that is. So you may need to tell me what that is. Zoom. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got to figure something out. So anyway, that's for me to worry about. But if any of y'all tech nerds know what I could do with NDI, it's got to allow NDI. That's the key. And like on two separate sides, because my graphics go NDI as a webcam into it, and then I can bring live shots in. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Don says Teams is very temperamental, but it had a few updates that maybe they have a plugin that will work. It's likely going to warrant a corporate tech involvement. Exactly, because I feel like it's locked down. WinVNC. You laugh. Do you know how I remote log into my live radar terminal? Do you know how I do that? This? When I'm doing my work on hold on. That's off. That's off. When I do this, let me show you what I'm using. You joke that it's VNC. It's VNC. This is how I remote log into my radar is absolutely VNC. That's how I make the changes to the Wesh radar. VNC. So anyway, you laugh. All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see you guys and gals later. Sound good? Take care. All right. Bye.